Yeah, okay, I'm back again. The reason that I'm making this video is because I want to touch on some points that I haven't touched on in the previous videos, or at least I want to, uh, you know, kind of like update uh, different things that I've been doing since my last video. Okay. One of the things I want to talk about today too, though, is the magic heat. But first, I want to go back to the stove. Right now, the stove is working very, very well. Like last video, I put a new catalytic combustor in there, and it's been working very well. Now it's been about, let's see, let me look at my watch here once. It's been about 6 hours since I fed this fire, and you'll see that the cat temperature right now is just about right at 500 degrees. All right. Yeah. And yeah, it's putting out quite a bit of heat, but anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put wood in the fire. And I want you to notice that, okay, all the vents are closed. Okay, the ashtray vent's closed, this loading door vent is closed. And the only vent that's open is the cat air vent. Okay, and that basically stays pretty much like that all the time. I never really do anything with it. Okay, now we're going to open this thing up. First, I'm going to take the catalyst out of service by opening up the bypass. Okay, now the catalyst is out of circuit, and it's basically going right up the stack rather than going through the catalyst first. Now you'll see I got a really good little set of embers going here. I like to kind of level them all out, you know, before I put more wood in there. It's like Dante's Inferno in there right now. Okay, now I want you to. Okay, I'm just going to take this wood and I'm going to put that in there. This is mostly oak. There might be some ash here too, but I think it's mostly oak. Okay, that's it. Usually, I found out is usually always have to put the wood in threes. It seems to work better that way. If you put it in just a pair, it just doesn't seem to do that well. You always have to put that third one in there. Kind of like like a catalyst or something. I don't know, but you can see it's starting to burst into flames already. Now I'm going to close the bypass. I'm leaving the door open just a little bit, just to get the fire established. If I leave it open too far, I get smoke. Because the reason I get smoke is when the catalyst does offer a certain amount of restriction to the airflow. So when you open up the loading door, you're going to get some smoke coming out. Well, okay. Anyway, I'm going to close this up. Now, as I said in my previous video, how to tell if the catalytic combustor is working or not. What I just did, and like I mentioned, I have all the dampers closed. If the combustor temperature climbs under those conditions, then I know that the combustor is working perfectly. And so far, it's been doing that every single time. Another thing also I want to mention is that when you first make a fire with no bed of embers, and you close the door, there's a chance that your combustor temperature will drop. But once you get a bed of embers established, and then you put your wood in there, you're going to get much better results out of it. Okay, now while that's going on, I want to talk about this magic heat. Now you gotta know this is an old unit. Oh my goodness, I think this thing's got to be 30 years old. Yeah, it just turned on. You're gonna notice it's a 14 holer. The new ones, unfortunately, are only 10. Now, if they work as well or not, I really can't say for sure. I have no experience with them. But I kind of think, I would think that the 14 would work better than 10. I don't know. And why they went back to 10, I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's just because of economics. I don't know. But anyway, this magic heat is it's just awesome. It's like doubles the effectiveness of the stove. There's no doubt about it. Now, one thing I want to say, okay, there's anybody who hasn't had any experience with these, this rod sticking out, the knob on it, is actually for cleaning those tubes. Okay, you can visualize this. This is just an outer shell. All right. Let me come back with this camera a little bit here. All right, anyway, this is just an outer shell. This is the housing, all right? This is a heavy steel box that's all welded. It's completely enclosed. These tubes are inside that thing, and they're all welded, so there's no way any smoke can escape out of this. The only openings in that box, there are the ones that from the bottom and the top, where the flue goes, where the flue pipes connect. So now, inside there, there's like a steel plate, and it's got holes in it that fit over each one of these corresponding tubes. So as you slide this thing back and forth, that plate slides over those tubes and cleans them off. And you want to do that periodically. I like to do that like every day, at least. All right, because if you wait too long, it could get sooted up bad enough where you won't be able to move it anymore, or at least your movements will become restricted. Like you just saw it turn on. That's because there's a thermostat inside. Let's see here. Okay. That's the thermostat. Okay. In the back. It's in the back. And inside where you can't see it. And this screws against that, inside that steel box, and this surface goes up against the metal. Okay, and it senses what the temperature is. And it turns on at 150 degrees and turns off again probably around 120, something like that, I forget. 130, 120, somewhere in there. Alright, and then there's two terminals on here that the wires plug onto, and that turns the fan on and off. That's how that thing works. What's really ironic about that, okay, this is new. I thought there was something wrong with my old one. It turns out that there wasn't. This new one is defective. So I already got a hold of the company, and I'm going to try to get my money back, because this thing was like about $16. So it just turns out that my old one, this surface here was not up against the metal. There was a little bit of a gap there. So I just bent these little side brackets here so that this surface would be up against the metal. And now it works much better. So anyway, I really don't need a new one. If they want to send me out a new one, fine. Or either that or give me a refund, whatever. Okay. There's also a bypass switch back here. Right here. And what that does is if you push that in, the fan will run all the time, constantly. You don't want to do that. Sometimes you figure out once you want to take that out completely, but you don't want to leave it running constantly, because you have to have some heat for the flue gases, otherwise you can get creosote buildup. And right there it is right now. Some people criticize these things because they think they're going to cause a lot of creosote problems because you're reducing too much heat from your flue gases. I haven't noticed any difference in the you know, the creosote buildup in my chimney before or after I put the magic heat in. So I used to have a house in Chicago that I was born and raised in, and I took this magic heat and I installed it on a gas furnace that was down in our basement, and we never had to turn the heat on in the basement again because the magic heat did it all. Every time the furnace turned on, about a minute later this thing would fire up to keep that basement warm. I never kept all the heat vents closed in the basement. Pretty impressive. And that house is over 100 years old. Another thing on this stove, excuse my mess back here, I never pointed this out either. See that little guy right there is a blower. Now they have got blower kits available for this stove, and that blows air into the bottom, and it comes out these two top vents right here. So there's another one on the other side. They have got other vents in the bottom on both sides, and they're closed off right now because they have the blower on there. You don't have to have the blower on there. You can just do it by gravity. But blower, I believe, is a lot more effective. So, and that I have controlled by this thing. It's a limit switch. Okay, that turns that little motor on and off. By the way, that blower, believe it or not, came out of a Bally pinball machine many years ago. It's been running ever since. Well, anyway, this switch came out of an old coal burner that we used to have in that Chicago house. And that spring thingy, what do you want to call it, goes all the way through inside that chamber there, and it coils up, and then it trips the, you know, turns, it expands or whatever, until it trips the switch, and it turns that blower on down there. Works great. Yep. Now, like I said, you know, I put wood in that fire, and I had all the vents closed, right? I put wood in the fire, and all the vents have been closed ever since. Since I've been having this video running, which has been probably about, I don't know, what, 5 minutes now? Look at this. It's up to about 750 degrees, maybe? I haven't got my glasses on. Yeah, about 750 degrees right now. And it's climbing. In fact, if you look at it closely, you could probably see it climb. Getting close to 800 now. But that's why all the vents closed. I know that catalytic combustor is working. Okay, now I'm going to go outside. I got to turn my camera off because my battery's running dead. Be back in a minute. Okay, I want you to look at that chimney. Now, mind you, I just put that wood in there about 5, 6, 7 minutes ago. And all you see coming out of that chimney is steam. There's no smoke. It's nothing but steam. See how it's white and then it evaporates right away? So that's a very healthy catalytic combustor. Okay, I had to get my camera charged up, so it's been probably close to an hour since I turned it off. And the combustor, I believe at that time, was running around 800 degrees. According to the probe, now what is that about? It's hard to say. About 1150, I think, something like that. The numbers are kind of bad. The paint is kind of chipped off right there. But typically it gets up to about 1300 degrees. Now, I was a little bit concerned because this, when I, after I turned the camera off and it was charging, the combustor temperature, according to the probe, wasn't going up to about maybe 1000 degrees. It was kind of just sitting there. So I threw another piece of wood in there, to kind of move things around a little bit in the firebox, but that didn't really seem to make any difference. So I don't know, I said, geez, what's going on here? So I took the probe out, and the stem itself, let me get this thing out of the way before I do something. The stem right here, it was actually kind of had scale on it and stuff, so I cleaned it up. And since then, it's been going up. So I think that was kind of like acting like an insulator, believe it or not. It's kind of weird that this has to happen just when I want to make this video, but anyway. So I'm kind of relieved about that. Now typically, under these conditions, the combustor temperature will be right around 1300 degrees. It'll stay there for quite a long time till the fire starts to die down. Now what's really impressive, I've done this before, but I'll do it again. You get this out of here first. Got a little washer there. Look at that. Cherry red. That's open to the room right now. There's no smoke. Let me see what this. Now I got a digital reader, temperature gauge here. High. That's all it says is high. And that's about, in the limit on this temperature gauge is about 1500 degrees. So, like I stated before in my previous videos, that probe is only a guide. It just kind of tells you what's happening, if things are going up and down. But you cannot really go by that as a guide. It's not an accurate, it doesn't tell you accurately what the actual temperature of the probe is. I mean, of the catalyst is. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. Now this magic heat, this has been running non-stop since I turned the camera off. In this house, it's about 2,800 square feet, and it's got quite a bit of area, and it's two-story, and the let's see here. There's a second floor. Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, just to illustrate, that takes a lot to heat this house. Okay, now I got an awful lot of glass too. There's an awful lot of window in this house, and the furnace has not turned on all day. Okay, and this is the thermostat. You can see right now it's actually just sitting at 70, and that's where I got it set. I can see it. I sit here. I'll turn this light on, so you can see it set at 70 right here, and the actual temperature in the house right now is at 70. And the temperature outside right now is 5 degrees. That's pretty good, huh? Yep. The stove is doing all that. But I will tell you one thing. Without the magic heat, that would not happen. I could not keep the furnace from turning on before if the temperature got below 32 degrees outside. Without the magic heat. With the magic heat, it's 7 degrees outside. It's night, so there's no sun, and the furnace is not turning on. That seems to be my ultimate goal with this thing here, is to keep the furnace from running. Works for me. Hey, if you like my videos, I'd really appreciate it if you just, you know, look down there and click on that thumbs up. You know, I'd really appreciate that. You know, it kind of gives me a lot. You know, a lot of people have been asking me questions and stuff and giving me compliments about my videos, and I've been getting quite a few hits. I mean, it's nothing viral or anything like that, but it's pretty impressive, and that just gives me incentive, you know, to make more videos like this. So I hope it helps somebody out. Okay. Questions or comments, you know, just get on YouTube and have at it. I'll try to answer you as best I can. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.